Hello, I am Nindy Kerr. Welcome to Nindy's Creative Corner. I use my Stamp-a-ma-jig quite often to get my sentiment in just the right position. I also use it for two-step stamping. I've had several requests to do a video showing both these techniques. Your Stamp-a-ma-jig comes in a nice box, which I don't have anymore. There's a nice handle with a T-square. Notice the little 90-degree angles on each side. It also comes with an imaging sheet. The imaging sheet has a textured side and a smooth side. I always use the smooth side because it's easier to clean. You can use any of the classic inks on your imaging sheet except black. I like to use one of the darker blues or browns or whichever dark color I'm using. Make sure it's something that will show up well against the cardstock you will be stamping on. Do not use Stays-On, as it is made to be permanent on plastic, and you will have this image on your sheet. I forgot to mention this at a stamp class once, and I've worked really hard and finally got most of it off, but you can still see a little bit of it over here. She also stamped it on the textured side. I did use Stays-On cleaner and rubbing alcohol to get it off, but it took a lot of elbow grease. If you are using wood mount stamps, you can make an imaging sheet from vellum cardstock for each stamp. I will teach you how to do that later. I also, with my stamps, well, these are obvious which direction they go, but these are not so obvious, so I put a dot in each corner so they would be in the same position when I stamped. If you're using clear mount stamps, you will definitely need your imaging sheet because you'll have to redo your stamp every time because you'll never get it on the block the exact same way. If you'll notice, I have little red marks on here. I tried to outline this with the red Sharpie so I could find it easier. It's clear and I'm always misplacing it. I have two, but I can only find one at a time. Let's get started on using our Stamp-a-ma-jig. I usually buy my two-step stamps in the wood mount version. Then I can mark the dots on my stamp block so I don't have to figure out the correct position each time. Some are close but take just a little bit off when not positioned correctly, so I can get frustrated easily and not use the stamp again. Yes, I do still use the Stamp-a-ma-jig with my two-step clear mount stamps. So first off, when you have a two-step stamp, you need two coordinating colors. A light color for your solid image and a darker color for your lined image. I will be using Wisteria Wonder for the light color and Elegant Eggplant for the dark color. First, you need to ink it on your, first just ink the solid image on your sheet where you want it. I will be using the Framed Tulips embossing folder on this project, so I want to leave some space on the edges. Okay, now for the Stamp-a-ma-jig. You need your imaging sheet to fit snugly in the corner against your T. If you're left-handed, you'll want to do it this way. But since I'm right-handed, I'll do it on this side. Ink up your stamp well. Slide it right in so all the edges are touching the handle. Press down firmly and you get your image. Okay, now we will line it up with our stamped image. Let's see, there's one little part. There we go. Oops. Yeah, you do have to watch out for that. Get your T-square in there firmly. Make sure the image is still the way you want it. Remove the plastic sheet. Re-ink your lined stamp. Get it snugly in the corner. And voila! You have a perfectly stamped image. Okay, let's try it with some of these small ones. I want to do a couple of these. And you can also use your Stamp-a-ma-jig to help you position your stamps. Let me see, I should do this while I remember which way the corner is going. Choose another corner, put your okay, hopefully I remembered correctly. Oh, well, now line it up the way we want. Position our handle. There we go. Now we will do this one again. Position our handle. Put the dot in the corner. There we go. Now done 3. I always get excited when it turns out perfectly the first try. And we don't have to tell anyone our trade secret. I also want to stamp a sentiment in a frame on this. For this I'll be using the 4 frames. So this stamp set is Stippled Blossom with the flowers. Luckily this thing has 4 corners because it's usually enough for a project without having to clean. So stamp your sentiment in. Position it how you want. Line up your stamp. There we go. Put it in the corner. Stamp. Perfect. Anyway, so that's how you use 2-step stamps and sentiments. If you are going to punch out a sentiment, I would recommend doing all your stamping first and then punching. Same with your framelit. Cleaning your Stamp-a-ma-jig is really easy. Just spritz on your Stampin' Mist, or you can just get a wet paper towel or tissue or cloth or whatever you want. It comes off really easily. Now it's ready to reuse again. Okay, I'll now show you how to make vellum imaging sheets for your wood 2-step stamps. First, you'll need to cut your cardstock vellum. This comes in 8.5 by 11 sheets. It's fairly thick and sturdy, so you don't have to worry about it tearing easily. Measure your wood block. This is just slightly over 2.5. So we will do 2 3/4. Okay, and the other direction, it is about 2 1/4. Alrighty, so we've got that one, although I guess that's not the one we're using. And this should be nice for our 2 small ones. So we take our Stamp-a-ma-jig handle, we get a marker to mark the corner. Fit this snugly in the corner just like you do the plastic imaging sheet. Ink up your stamp well. Put it in the corner. and stamp. Now for the small one, we will do the same. Just make sure you use the dot in the corner in the little fold. Okay, there. Okay, now we have perfect permanent imaging sheets for these two flowers. You do need to make sure and keep them in the case because, like the imaging sheets, they tend to disappear easily. Here's the card I made with the stamped images. As you can see, I added 2 more stamped flowers. I also embossed with the framed tulips embossing folder. I added color to the embossed parts with a sponge dauber and Wisteria Wonder ink. I do love to use tools that help make my projects turn out wonderful the first time. I hope you enjoy using your Stamp-a-ma-jig. Look at my blog for more card making and paper crafting ideas, nindyscreativecorner.com. If you are watching this video on YouTube, click the like button. You can also click the subscribe button to get an email when I have posted a new video. Happy stamping!